Manchester United reported yesterday that the club remained patient with Ruben Amorim and have no plans to change their manager, but the rumbles of discontent continue to get louder, with a United great expressing his concern about the club's struggles. United's all-time leading scorer Wayne Rooney says the team have got worse since Amorim's appointment in November last year, and he doesn't sound convinced that the manager is capable of turning things around. Here are some quotes from Wayne Rooney on the Wayne Rooney Show podcast. I want to be as supportive and positive as I can on the manager and the players, but it's very difficult to sit here and say we are seeing progression. At least we're seeing things that will get results in the near future. I think after the last year when Ten Hag got sacked and Ruben came in, we're hearing how they're going to play and it's going to change. I think the manager is honest with himself. It's got worse. Right, good morning to Jamie O'Hara. Are Manchester United getting worse?
Oh, but they're terrible. They're 100% getting worse. I can't see how this can continue. They keep saying they want to back the manager and they're going to stick with it. They are awful. They're one of the worst Man United teams I've ever seen. His win percentage is one of the worst since World War II. You know, I think they've got 31 points from 31 games that he's been involved in. It's relegation form, it really is. And, you know, they've got to bite the bullet and say this is not going to work.
This is proof of what you're saying. So, since Ruben Amorim took over, of the 17 teams who are still in the Premier League, because of course 3 went down, Manchester United.
Not great viewing for Tottenham, that either, is it?
Exactly, and West Ham down there, because we're talking about West Ham since Potter came on. They are bottom, but since Amorim came on, Manchester United are bottom with that 31 points in 31 games, which is what teams who are trying to stay in the table, stay in the Premier League, will aim for, a point a game. Now, in fairness, in the league, losing to Arsenal and Manchester City, that's not too bad. Drawing with Fulham, they beat Burnley. I know it was in the last minute.
Yeah, lost to Grimsby.
Grimsby in the EFL Cup as well. So Rooney says it's hard to even see progression or even signs of improvement. Do you agree with that?
There's no progression. There's no improvement. The only improvement you could potentially say is they've signed some decent players in Brian and Mbeumo. You know, in Cunha, who's picked up an injury. You know, that I believe they've got better in. But in terms of performances, there's no improvement. They played well against Arsenal. They lost. They lost. So at home. You know, and they had a decent game, but they didn't score. They lost 1-0. They were absolutely terrible against Grimsby. Shocking performance. Shocking against Man United. And they were bang average against Burnley, and they needed a last-minute mistake from a Burnley player to go and win the game. If that didn't happen, they'd be sitting on 2 points. 2 points. Come on, this is unacceptable for Man United. And I get it. They want to try and back a manager and they want to have stability. I'm sorry. I have never seen a performance so bad from a Man United team. It's getting worse and worse. And you can't tell me it's going to all of a sudden change and they're going to get better. He's been backed, he's got players in, and they're still terrible. The formation doesn't work, they've got no identity, the players have got a complete lack of confidence on the ball, without the ball. They don't get the system. They do not get the system. They can't make it work. And Ruben Amorim's so arrogant and so stuck in his ways of, this is how I'm going to play, the modern-day manager, this is my formation, this is how I want to play, 3-4-3, this is what we're doing. Well, you're basically telling the team every single week, this is how Man United are going to set up, this is the performance they're going to put in, and let's work on that and go and beat them. They get overrun in midfield every single week. They've got one of the best creative midfielders in the world in Bruno Fernandes. They're trying to play him as a number 6. He's not a number 6. He's a number 10. He's an attacking midfielder. You're taking everything away from his game. Honestly, it's painful to watch. It really is painful to watch, and I'm sick of hearing it. Every time I come on Sky, I've got to talk about Man United. They're terrible.
I think there's going to be more to come today as well. By the way, Paul Scholes, he's agreed with you. He said that for opposition teams, when they know how Manchester United play, it's a lot easier for them to set up. And OK, you might have known that with Sir Alex Ferguson, but they had Scholes, they had Giggs, they had Keane, etc.
They had leaders as well.
It was a little bit different to this one. Right, let's get a fan's view now on this, because Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis, an app where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, you can go to the Sky Sports app for more details. Adam Stott is the fan that we've got on today. Adam, hello again to you. Wayne Rooney, I know your answer to this already, OK, but Wayne Rooney says United have got worse under Amorim. Do you agree?
Never lies, does it? We are where we are in the league, and you can't defend him with some of the decisions that he's making. Jamie's just laid out a few there. I disagree with the Burnley game. We battered them. It could have gone 4-0 up at Manchester United before half-time. That's probably one game you could argue. You could argue for him the Arsenal game. We were good in that game. The system worked. We nullified Arsenal. We had more chances created than them. But I get where everyone's argument is against him. You can't argue with the win percentage. That ratio is awful. And unless he changes it. And that's my point on it. He's got players there that can fit a system instantly, and this team will look completely different because players want to express themselves on the pitch. If he allows that to happen by changing up the shape and putting players where they should be on this pitch, then Ruben can make it happen at Man United. He understands what's going on behind the scenes, done a lot of work behind the scenes. He needs results. That's his big downfall right now, and there's no defence for him on that side of it.
Adam, he's not changing the formation.
Well, this is the thing, Jamie,
He's setting his stall out. He's not going to change the formation.
Unless he does, he's sacked. I said the other day he's sacking himself. I don't want him to go. I think he understands what was needed at Manchester United. But like you've all said, like that's
what do you mean?
You can't argue against.
Mate, when you say that, he knows what Man United need.
The culture. He knows all about it. He knows the Garnacho situation, the Marcus Rashford situation. I know, look, this is coming from a United fan side of things, and we watch our club every single week. We see these same players walking around the pitch, not giving the maximum amount of effort. He's been the first manager, and don't get me wrong, he's been backed with this as well, because he's the first manager that's had a structure behind him. The idiots that the Glazers had working for them before Ineos came in didn't know what they were doing. They weren't fit for the roles they were playing. So Ruben's had backing on this. And it's interesting to see how he now adapts with the players that he's got. But you picked out the points there, and that's the bit that I cannot argue against. But if he did change it, and again, it's hard for me to say that because he's not clearly doing that. If he did, he's got players there that he can get something out of.
But is that all he has to do? I mean, because changing the formation does seem quite simple. Is that all he has to do?
It's all he's got left to do. That's the only thing he can do right now. Look, I'm trying to defend a manager here that is hard to defend against. Like, I get it. Like, the points are there. The problems are there for everybody to see. We've seen little glimpses of bits in games, but he's not playing Benjamin Sesko. He spent £73 million on a striker. Baltimore started for Newcastle at weekend and scored on his debut. It's embarrassing. Thomas Frank's gone in at Spurs and changed Spurs around, and they were worse than United last season. I get it all. But Thomas Frank's gone in and he's kept it simple at Spurs, and he's worked with the players that he's got and played to their strengths. If Ruben did this, he's got Mazraoui playing at right wing-back, he's not a right wing-back. He's got Ahmad playing at right wing-back, he's not a right wing-back. Bruno at 6, like Jamie said, he's not a 6. He's got players out of position.
Why do you want him to stay then?
Pitch.
Why do you want him to stay? I don't get Man United fans. What, because he's a nice geezer? Like,
no, not at all.
I don't get
it. Not at all, mate. I'm a United fan, Jamie, and I'm livid. I'm livid with what's going on right now. But you can see what he's got there, what he's developed, the players he's got rid of. If someone at Manchester United, say for instance, a Jason Wilcox, a sporting director, has a word of him, tells him, look, you might need to change this. It's like, who else comes in right now? Who else comes in right now? Who do you go and get? One of the old managers?
Well, that's the question, because we asked this for Flex yesterday, and there was no definitive him.
There isn't.
It was like, well, there could be him, there could be him, there could be him. Is there anyone in your mind? It sounds like no.
I mean, I've heard Jamie say before, go and get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back. That's you never go back. Come on, you never go back. You've got
Ollie at the wheel
right now. We have got a conveyor belt of managers at Manchester United. We're complaining about this one right now. Ten Hag's just been sacked after 2 games. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's just been sacked at Besiktas. Jose Mourinho's just been sacked at Fenerbahce. All these previous Man United managers that have failed at Manchester United are failing everywhere else. It's down to recruitment. If they trust in their manager, they should have given more of what he wanted in the summer and spent more on him. They're going to have to back him now, but someone's going to have a word with him and say, look, you're going unless something changes here and you adapt your system a little bit.
Okay, but Adam, I'm going to tell you now, he ain't going to change the formation. It's going against everything that he believes in as a manager. You see it now with modern-day managers, these young managers that have come up...
Well, he said it. He said it, didn't he? If you want to change the system, now you change the man. That's what he said.
Well, exactly. He's not going to change. That's not going to happen.
By the way, there's a message on the bottom of the screen from Saeed who's suggested on the subject of who could come in if Amorim did go. And he's said Nuno Espirito Santo there and, of course, Jose Mourinho, who's been there as well. Do any of those names excite you in any way? Because the obvious one to throw in is Eddie Howe, but at the moment, is Newcastle United more attractive than Manchester United for a manager?
Well, that's it. You said it right there, Tom. Why would Eddie Howe want to move to Manchester United right now? He's got an ownership model there that's right behind him. Obviously, he's got a team there that's right behind him, that are listening to him, that are getting the message. There's no reason why Eddie Howe should be leaving Newcastle United. And that's coming from a United fan right now. I'm looking at this like, look, we get what you deserve in football, don't you? We backed Ruben Amorim. We wanted rid of Eric Ten Hag. I didn't think that was right for us. And now we have to deal with the consequences of this. I don't want an interim manager in again. The problem I've got with this is, it's like we just mentioned there isn't anybody outstanding right now that could come into Manchester United and change this around.
What about Iriola at Bournemouth?
You've got to get him from Bournemouth. Look
he's at
how they're winning.
Bournemouth. You're Man United.
Well, they're in the Champions League places, Jamie.
They've played 4 games.
Yeah, I know that, but you were bigging up Spurs, saying that they're in the Champions League
good
places
team,
as
though.
well.
Spurs are a good team this season. Yeah, but you look at
come
it.
on.
Spurs went and got Thomas Frank. All right, Brentford manager, done a great job, give him the opportunity to go and be a bigger club, and it looks like he knows what he's doing. Right, tactically they look better. Man United with Ruben Amorim, they've stuck with him after a terrible season, and you've started the season terrible. Iriola, for me, Iriola's the next manager who's going to go to a big football club. Don't miss out on him. If you're going to sack Ruben Amorim, sometimes you just got to go, right, this hasn't worked out. We got to let this one go. It's not going to work. Let's go before someone else goes and gets him.
Honestly, on that, like you're right in what you're saying. Look, it's like I said it at the start before we started there. Like I cannot defend what's happening on paper. I would get Iriola. I would go and get Glasner from Crystal Palace.
What
I would
about
get
Mourinho?
managers like that.
Mourinho's he had a 58% win percentage at Man United. The one below Sir Alex Ferguson is Mourinho in terms of win percentages.
Pragmatic manager right now coming into Manchester United. Who's going to keep it simple. I know. I'm saying this now. I'm saying a pragmatic manager right now would probably get more out of this team. It just goes to show how bad the players are as well. They were talking professional footballers who can't adapt to a system. It's ridiculous in my eyes. I mean, Jamie, you know that when a new manager comes in, you work your ass off and you play. You do everything you can to work and understand that. You're a professional. How can they not get what he wants? I understand playing players out of position, but come on, some of these performances from Man United players have just been absolutely ridiculous. You've got Luke Shaw in the side there, who's been at the club for over a decade, 11 years. He's been available for 3 of them years for Manchester United. We're talking about giving Harry Maguire a contract extension at the end of the season. The same problems are there for Manchester United constantly. No other big club would keep these players at the club. You could argue no other club would keep the manager there as well, to be honest, with the results that we've got. But honestly, right now, this Manchester United side has to look at themselves as well. We are going to end up probably sacking Ruben Amorim. You can see it coming, the writings on the wall, unless he does the unthinkable that we've just discussed and changes it up.
But how bad is it? Because there's a message there from Brahim says that relegation beckons. You don't actually believe that, do you?
Well, the table never lies. Look, results are results. The relegation form is there. You've just both been talking about it. Jamie picked it up. Since Ruben Amorim's been there, he's not a point a game. Wayne Rooney said it. Paul Scholes has said it. Gary Neville will always try and defend the manager. I've seen what he said on Sky Sports this weekend as well. But even he is now coming down to, we've seen this movie before. We know what's happening. The same noises are coming from the media. The same problems. I'm hearing things coming out of Manchester United that he's not convinced himself. His staff are not convinced by him. Look, he can do it if he changes it, but if he doesn't, that's the only argument I've got for him. Like, I'm not trying to defend what's happening here with Ruben Amorim. I'm a United fan who's lost with where this football club is going right now, and it's hard. Like, you don't know what's next.
In terms of names, we are going to wrap it up soon, but in terms of other names there, has the job now gone past Ryan Giggs? OK, you can't put him in there, you can't put like a club legend in there. What about Kieran McKenna, who, when he got Ipswich up, was looking like he could be the next Manchester United manager? I know they've gone down again, but could it be him? He's still on an upward trajectory. There are other names as well out there who could fit, but completely different to what you're looking at. Players, managers who are doing well in the Premier League right now, but you could look away from that. And someone who might just be the right fit for the club.
I think the club went into the transfer window this summer with a vision of bringing in Prem-proven players. I think you need to do the same with a manager.
Yeah.
I think what you need is someone who knows the Premier League. Jose knows the Premier League. Glasner, Iraola, successful in the Premier League. I don't want anyone from outside the Premier League at the moment. It's just, I think United needs stabilising. I think they just need to get a solid base. It's just overly complicated at United. Everything just seems overly complicated at the moment at United. And the examples are there. Brentford lost the manager, lost the captain, lost the leading goal scorer, brought a manager in from the EFL, and I hired a Man United to get it straight away. Why does it not work at United?
Yeah, I mean, well, Keith Andrews was already at the club, of course, in a different role. But
Kieran McKenna was at Man United as well.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
He's not a bad shout.
That's probably the name the reason for throwing that name in. Adam, I promise that one day we'll talk to you in much happier circumstances for your club. But thank you this morning.
Not anytime soon.
Cheers, guys.